Thanks for waiting, everybody. Let me get myself settled here. All right, hopefully you can hear me with the microphone fine. Welcome to this live stream. For those of you who are just coming from the Game Dev Show, thanks for checking it out. Let me know. I've got the comments up on the video, so certainly let me know if there's any topics on your mind. Happy to talk about things while we do this. I'm going to start by just reminding everyone infinitypbr.com exists, and we got lots of stuff here. Links to scripting docs for my modules, integrations and tips, some really cool tips from Jim, who was making videos for a while with us, and some really cool stuff there. Of course, if you click this button, it's an affiliate link to the asset store, and on the asset store you can get all of our stuff. And of course, there's also cool sales, including some stuff from Infinity PBR that's on sale now too. So have a look at that. And yeah, lots of good stuff here. So let's talk about what we're doing today. Biogic, the lockpicking will be part of this, but it's not currently at the point where it's not in this project yet. I haven't brought it into the project, and so nothing to show on that. I can show where I left off after yesterday's stream. It was basically yesterday. It was all about getting these little test buttons to work, adding conditions to players, and so on my game here we got our players, and so we have a list of conditions. And when I click something like Heroes and Novice, you get this conditions. I'm using the items module from the modules for this. And so it's an list of items, and these items have to be conditions. And so there's a lot of different conditions you can have. And then afterwards, I fixed some bugs that were facing at the end when I had to go for some family stuff. And then I was thinking, I did some more work, and I thought to myself, what I need to do now, before showing these in the menu, before doing all that, as I really need to kind of be able to cast them. Because the scripts I was working on over in Writer is a test cast spell, and these methods are perfectly fine. They work, which is great. But this is just this is a placeholder. That button calls this cast spell, which essentially is really just doing this. If there's a condition to add, if it can add a condition, because there isn't one already, then add a condition. Otherwise, don't. And so I realized what I need to do is actually get spells onto the players, which is not something I've done yet, and then let the players cast the spells. So when we're in the game, for buffs like heroes and weakness and stuff, there we go. A character can you can cast a spell. You can click here, and obviously there's a bug. There's a bunch of bugs, so I'm gonna have to solve this, whatever that issue. I haven't worked on this panel yet. But the first thing is to actually get the spells into the player's list, because right now we have a list of learned spells. We have learned skills. These are just strings, and we have learned spells, but we don't have the method to learn spells. And the way I'm gonna do this is there's gonna be books, magic books you can buy, you can acquire. Some at the beginning of the game you're going to be able to acquire, and then you can drag them. So like similar to if you have an item. Oh man, now I've got more bugs because of that other bug. Oh well. If you have an item, you can drag it onto your player portrait and learn the spell. And so that's where we're starting today. And to do that, we already have models set up, I believe. Now this is actually, I'm not completely sure because it's been a while, but Magic Books inventory. I've got these set up. Some books from the asset store. I think these are set and ready to go. They're very similar to these ones, and so they've got the in-game prefab. The pivots might be off, but we'll find out. But they look like they're set up in the same way. Oh yeah, the position's probably off, but we'll find out. Let's see what happens. And the way we do this is with the character creation scene. And so, let me load that up and I can show that. New game. And when we create our characters, we can choose various skills and stuff. And some of those skills can be magic skills. I got those buttons still in the back. Do I have a... Is there a random bug that I somehow brought into the game? This null reference shouldn't be happening at the end. All right, so this is intended to iterate through each item and other data loading to the scene. So, so I guess if no spot.item, then continue, or if spot.item equals null, continue. If that's the null reference. Essentially, you know, we save the stats, I suppose, of the items, and those can be changed. You might get different prefix or suffix to buff an item, a sword, or something. But I also want the ability to update the item data so that if the change the attack value or something. So at the beginning of every load, we go through the items and change the base data. There we go. So that's all of that. Change the base data and relink the base data in case it's changed in the scriptable objects that hold that. All right. So to remind myself how this works, I'm going to click on skills. And I know the weapons and armor here will add, will do something and add something to the player. What I need to do, you know, this is going to add a sword to her hand. Ho, ho, ho. Or it won't add a sword to the hand. Why not? Well, that's frustrating. Okay. This is probably something I named incorrectly. Inventory spot X. Oh man, did I mess up my stuff? Let's see. Inventory spot X is the name that suddenly is gone. And if we go to our items, where's items? Items. Each one of these should have inventory spot X. And look, there's Y but no X. All right, well, let me re-add that. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but maybe I accidentally, yesterday I added Magic's Book and Spell. It's likely that instead of adding a new one, I accidentally replaced inventory spot X with Magic Book. So that should solve that issue. This is the items module, by the way, if you haven't seen that. Dictionary is just oh, I should probably set it up. These dictionaries are custom things you can set up, so I'm only needing the item, and I'm going to expose the int, the integer, and then on your items you can type in things. So if you want to hold something, oh yeah, I don't think I've set up the magic book yet, so this is probably going to take up 2 by 2, we'll say. And equip spot. For the other things, I say hands and stuff. This is going to be, I mean, there's no equip spot, so I think I just leave it blank. That's how I'll do the logic. And then inventory object, I need to drag that in. So we've got our prefaz magic books. We'll do magic book inventory. All right. Good enough that we came over here because I would have had to set that stuff up anyways. And the rest is fine. So I'm going to save that. And let's see if we can do this again. This is me not being a 10x developer, but trying to be a 10x developer, trying to be clever enough to save some time, and then ended up causing more issues, technical debt that I create for myself. But I think in the long run it will be better that I'm using these systems that I've built for myself rather than hard coding everything, because the whole point was that I would be able to add new things without boilerplate code and whatnot. But all right, so let's see. If we add a sword goes into her hand. That's great. And so what happens when we click that button? Somewhere in here. I should have cleared that out. So let's add another thing. Let's add a shield. And let's see. Toggle skill, shield, learn skill. Maybe it's here. Learn skill. So this is part of my player, and where are we doing this? I have to remind myself because it's been quite a bit of time since I had. Oh, where did it all go? There it is. It's quite a bit of time. So UI button got skill panel. Maybe it's here. Toggle skill name. Add the skill. Button got pressed. All right. If the player has already learned the skill, then we're going to remove the skill. That makes sense. And this will also remove the starting item. Okay. And let's see. Toggle skill and add starting item. So the adding starting item is what we want to do here. So we're adding starting item shield. So in our star skills, we need to get the value of starting item. Did I assign that in my stat or skills? Let's find out. Stat or skills and magic things like air magic. Okay. Starting item, magic book, spell, magic missile. Okay, so I did that, and this is something I did yesterday. There are starting items, and magic book is the starting item. So if I go to my items, I've got magic book as the item. It will have a suffix that's going to be something based on what kind of magic book it is, and we'll have to add that in the code here. But for instance, star skills, if I look at air magic, it should be of magic missile. So magic book of magic missile, and of magic missile will be the suffix. And if I go to my items, and again, I can look at my suffixes, and I've got these set up here. So of missiles actually, so I need to change that. I'm just going to change it here. Magic missiles. That's going to change the scriptable object that's in this suffixes folder. And we can see that the spell is magic missile. Okay. So what I think will be easier is if I use these strings in the item instead. Not in the item, in the stat or skill. Because I'm going to have to look up the suffix, and so it'll be a lot easier if I just say of in all of these. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll get to the next section of feeble mind. We have to make sure these are all spelled correctly. All right. Oh, should be out of this. I think these save regardless, yeah, because they're scriptable objects, so that's nice. All right, let's see what happens when we load a skill that has one of these attached to them. So if I go to my player, I'm going to choose a different character here. So now there's different magic spells and other things. So if I include a dagger, we see the dagger in the hand. The dagger learn skill happens here. No learn spell. Inventory data, we get the dagger is now in our inventory. Not in our inventory, actually, it's in our equipment spots, right hand. As you can see, if I were to add, well, I can't add another weapon, but that would go to our equipment. So let's add air magic, see what happens. Let's see, we got air magic, we didn't learn a spell. Okay, so we're gonna need to fix that. Do we have an inventory? Look at that, we got our magic book in our inventory. And it should just have worked. What we don't have, though, of course, is that it's not a magic book of whatever it's supposed to be yet. So we need to do that. So the two things we need to do is we need to add the learned spell. based on the suffix that comes with the skill Air Magic. All right, let's check out our code. I'm confusing me. Is my mic volume low? Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me turn my headphones first and see if my microphone can go louder. So there's a delay in the stream, so I actually don't know what I sound like yet after I've changed the volume. So I'm still listening. I totally realized I should have been talking this whole time to test because I was just waiting for myself to be able to hear myself. Okay. I think this should have turned it up. But let me know. I'm gonna continue on since there's that. It's a good 20-second delay. I'll answer other questions. Alex, I wrote the code myself for the modules as well as the game. Although I get help from friends. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and there's a Jason Story who has helped out a ton in all this. And it's not atavism. It's not a custom template. There's bits of it that are custom, like more of a template, like the character controller thing. It's part of the modules pack that we have on the asset store, but they're meant to be not. Most of the modules are something that you can use in all sorts of different ways. Things like the character controllers or character creation scene have to be used a very specific way. So if you need that way, then great, use it. If not, then it's best to use your own or create your own. All right, so starting item. Actually, let's take one step back. Before add starting item, we need to add that the spell, and to remind myself of what I forgot in the last 5 seconds, each item, or each skill rather, each of these skills will have a spell is the custom. So add the skill, active player, toggle skill name, add starting item. All right. And, whoa, not that button. Whatever button that was, don't touch that. Okay, add spell here if possible. So, we're going to say, so we're going to get this skill, and I just have to remind myself how I do these things. Stat or skill. Equals RPG f dot equals data game dot RPG data dot stat or skills and dot get skill, and we'll just look for name. That's the skill we're learning. So this is going to grab the scriptable object for, let's say, Air Magic, which has all this stuff on it. And what we need then is to know the if there is a spell. So if the string is null or empty, we're going to say ss dot dictionary dot get value string by the key of spell. Then we're going to say learn spell rather. And we're going to call that, we'll pass the stat or skill in, and I think that's all we should need to pass in. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to actually add the spell to the learned spell list, and this is just a string on the player. So active player dot learned spells dot add ss dot Oh, interesting. Okay, so we actually need to go one step further. We need to get the spell itself, which is a... Well, we need the name of the spell. And we're so of magic missiles, so we need to get the... Is that in the suffix? Because I've got a list of items. Oh, everything moved away. I hate when that happens. Okay, so I have a list of items, and the item has suffixes, and the suffix of magic missiles has the spell. So that's how I'm going to get that. Get the spell from the item suffix list. So back to game.rpg data.items. Nope. Dot. Thought it was items. Maybe it's just game.items. Yeah, game.items dot suffixes dot get suffix, or maybe it's just items dot get suffix. Yes, get suffix by the name of ss dot spell, right? So I'm gonna pass. So string spell name equals that, and we'll just pass this in as well. So get, it's not really spell name though, is it? It's suffix name. So suffix name. Just change that there and here. So get suffix by the suffix name. Dot get dictionary dot get value string spell. All right, and so this is going to be the spell name. So, all right, that should work. We'll have to test it. Add spell name. All right, so we're going to test this just to see if we can get that string into the list. Maybe I messed up. We'll see. Hey, Fredo, how are you? I'm reading the notes from Jason, the chat message from Jason, which is always helpful, always distracting, I would say as well, in a good way, of course. So he's suggesting this, and this is a writer's probably suggesting the same thing. The underline that we refactor this to be something like skill name or something. Button got pressed. Yep, skill name. Whoops. Seems like it would make a lot of sense. There we go. And null or white space instead of because it could be a string with space bars. That makes sense. So null or white space. Where is or white space? Fair enough. Is null or empty? Oh, all right. All right. Testing. That's what we were doing. All right. So once this does its thing, are you guys all able to see the code? All right. Is it? Should I zoom in on the code, or is that okay? Hard to tell if it's big enough on your screen. So let me know. What was I doing? Oh yes, pressing play. And we got game here. This should not be called anymore. That's wrong. I'm pretty sure that's completely wrong. It should be called. So I just ignore it for now because it's not actually causing problems. All right. So in our learned spells, we should see a spell. If I click on They're scout. They want to learn fire magic. There's no because of this. Okay, so suffix name. There's no. Well, there's a null reference. Let's see. Object reference, not such an object. So there could be that there's no skill named that. So let's see. Debug.log skill name. So let's see. If this isn't finding the skill, and it should be. Skill is fire magic. Alright. I'll just throw that in there just for funsies and see. Let's see. All right. Just want to check just to make sure I do have the skill fire magic, right? It's called fire magic. It's called fire magic. All right. So it's definitely there, and there is a starting item and a starting spell. All right. Let's press play again. Whoops. Press play again. One small step at a time with a few back steps in the mix. Alright, skills. We'll do scout again. And fire magic. We'll do the same one. Where's fire magic? There it is. No stat or skill. Ah, look at that. Skill name is fire magic with an uppercase I. Good thing I tried fire magic again. Isn't it? So I must have it wrong on somewhere. I've got this coming up with fire magic as where is that? I swear it's just that. All right. Aha! See that? Look at that. It's right there. Right there. It's a good thing I chose fire magic, I suppose. Now, I have to figure out where those get loaded. Where do skills get loaded? Let's see. It's probably in a prefab UI. Character creation, maybe? Oh, I see. It's probably one of these, and it's getting created on the fly. So maybe I didn't. No, it's lowercase here, lowercase there. Where do I bring that in? Maybe in one of these. Let's see. Fire magic. Nope. Learnable skills. No, these are all pulling from the same string, so it wouldn't. Oh, right here. Look at that. Somehow that didn't get updated when I must have changed the spelling at some point. It should have gotten updated here, but apparently it didn't. So I should probably check that on all of these. Oh, not a wizard. Wizard's not a base class. Mage is, though. Let's see. Who else learns fire magic? Nope, that one's correct. And the archer is the other one who would learn Fire magic at the beginning. That one's correct. Okay, so that's the one spot. And that bug would have not been found for a long time if I had not clicked on fire magic. Okay, I'm going to read Jason's comment in just a second. Once I try this again. Where's fire magic? There it is. It's in a different spot though, right? It used to be up here. Oh, it's because I changed it in that list. It must be going not by alphabetical. Okay, that's why that confused me. Fire magic. All right. We got a no reference exception again, and I'm guessing it didn't go through, but let's just check just to see what happened here. Oh, no, not there. Here. Oh, okay. Learned spells. Fire arrow. We got that. That's good. All right. Fire magic, fire arrow. This happens here. The equipment spot. Okay, good. We haven't gotten to that section yet, so that error is okay. Let's see what we have in the comments over here. Check how you are getting by name in the get skill function. There is the usual risk of string comparison, case insensitivity. Yeah. Now, ordinal ignore case. Interesting. All right, so I in the comments, Jason is suggesting going to, well, whatever method we were in there before, and adding something that's new for me. Matches, Boolean matches, skill name equals other skill, and string comparison with ordinal ignore case. That's new for me. I didn't know you could do that. I don't know if I'm going to use it right now because I don't want to miss those issues. But I didn't know you could do that. So you learn something new every day. Unless you sleep all day. Well, I guess maybe you learned you could sleep all day. So adding default equipment, this is where it comes into play for... All right, there's only one usage here, so we can go. Activate prefab groups. Let's go to back to where we were, I guess. Yeah, see, it's trying to equip this. So the item magic book can fit in the inventory. That's using the inventory module. So that's great. And add starting item. So here we are. So we know the starting item is magic book. So I'm just going to add some custom code here because since we know it's a magic book, let's see, item name to object name. I suppose, I mean, if this is null, then this would throw an error, right? So we'll just bring that down. So we've got the magic book, and we're making a clone of it. That's great. Commented that out. Okay, spots set up. This is just making sure the spots are set up. It's just, it doesn't need to run every time, but it needs to run the first time. Can we fit the item? Yes, we can fit the item, which is great. Now, for a magic book, we're not going to try to equip it, and that's where I think we're getting stuck with this, because we don't want to equip a magic book. So, well, we do want to add the whole suffix thing and make sure it's a magic book of the right suffix and all that. So, we know that this is magic book. And in this case, this is very boilerplate, but in this case, it's only ever going to be magic book. I'm not going to have other things. And if I want to, technically, maybe I want the, Holy Book of Healing Touch or something like that. So technically, I guess I could, once this loads, go back to the items and look at the type of the item. And maybe I'll do that just because it seems like maybe I do want Holy Book of Healing Touch now that I think about it. But in our items, there is a type, and the type could be magic book. So to make that more future proof, what we'll do is okay, so we can fit that, and this actually puts it into the item too, I believe, or maybe it doesn't, but add item to the grid. Okay, so now if the new item dot type equals magic book, then we're going to do something else instead, and then return out of this. So that way it won't do this whole active prefab group, because we're not going to active player. Let's see. We don't need to change the that's the actual physical wardrobe that the character is using, and we don't need to change that. What I'm wondering, what got me distracted there is, where is the code that actually equips the sword, for instance, or the leather? Because they go into the inventory, but then they get equipped, and they're out of the inventory. Now they're player equipment. So yeah, where that happens, we'll figure out maybe if that's an error. So if it's a magic book, then what we need to do is we want to add the prefix, or suffix rather, suffix to the magic book. And so we have the skill name, and do we cache the skill itself anywhere here? We do not. So I guess I can get it again, or should we cache it earlier? Yeah, let's just cache that. Whoops. And what was a stat or skill ss, and then I believe then we can actually get rid of a bunch of other stuff here, because this is already saved now. Item name is that. Okay. All right. So gotta remind myself what I was doing. I think it was just called spell, was the special name of the spell. If I go to my stats or skills, go down here, each one of these, yeah, it's a spell of, that's the suffix. It's really suffix, not spell, but that's okay. That's okay for this purpose. It's a one-time use scenario, I think. We'll see. Maybe in a month or 2 months I'll change the game. But that's why I'm a 1.5x developer, not 10x developer. Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah. So string suffix name equals ss dot dictionary dot get value string of spell. Now that's the one downside to my modules, is these don't, like, if I want to refactor this, it wouldn't refactor the code here. There might be a way to do that, but that's beyond me, and likely beyond scope at this moment. But all right, so that's the suffix name, and so we're gonna say new item dot suffix equals data dot game dot items dot suffix, or get suffix by name of the suffix name, and we're going to do a clone of that. Clone, is clone not an option for get suffix? It should be. I would think it would be an option. Oh, item mod. That's why. Wait a minute. Item mod. It does have clone, right? Don't have a clone for item mod? Interesting. I'll have to update that. Interesting. I know I can make this generic. I just haven't. I may have somewhere, honestly. Ooh, shoot. It's been a while. Okay. So we need to make a clone of it because we don't want to copy, we don't want to reference the actual scriptable object just in case we mess up anything and change it. We don't want to do that. So we always need to get a clone of it. So the suffix, this should add the suffix to the magic book. The players learn the spell. The magic book will now be magic book of whatever. And let's see if that works. Okay, let's see. Press play. All right. Scout, skills, clear, and test. All right. Cannot deserialize. Okay, maybe there's a. What's the deal here? Why can't I do a clone? Maybe there's a reason why I did not have a clone for item mod. Let's see. It's a scriptable object. That's probably why. That's exactly why. That is exactly why. So, remove that. I think then, let me just double check. I might have gotten this wrong. I think it might just be a string that I need to add to it. If I go to my game player, so learns, this is the item, magic book. Oh yeah, it's just going to be a string of the suffix name. Silly me. Silly me. So, so this is a string. Yeah. Is it? No? Item mod? Oh, yep. I see. All right. New item dot suffix name equals. And actually, I want to copy some code, so I'm going to copy that. Redo. Suffix name equals suffix name. All right. So I'll just do that, but all right. And suffix equals that. Okay, now we can reference that because we're just referencing the scriptable object, not copying. We don't need to copy it. There we go. That's what I was doing. That's why there is the suffix name here, suffix, prefix name, prefix. Let's try again. Hopefully this works because I want to get to the cool part, which is the whole inventory system in the actual game. So let's see if it works. Skills, scout, clear, fire magic. No bugs, or that we know of. No errors, at least. We now have the Magic Book of Fire Arrow. So the full name will be Magic Book of Fire Arrow. And a fire arrow is attached. That's great. I will have to later double check all of these because some of these might have the wrong ones. Like this one clearly has the wrong one or the wrong name. So I'm gonna have to change that right now. Sorry about that, everybody. This part's gonna be a boring part. Stat or skills, all these have to be of feeble mind, for instance, and of calm, and earth specifically was of stun, and I think somewhere else I put stunning. So feeble mind. Is that how you spell feeble? Could have looked it up, but I didn't. All right, I think I just need to change this one as well, and the rest should be right. So let's find out. Now, technically, the item is being added to the inventory just fine, and we can kind of test for that. If we go to skills, it tells you what spot it was added into, I think. Yep, at 0, 0. So the next one shouldn't be 0, 0. And exactly 0, 2. So it's two grid spots over. So we're going to learn a few spells, and I'm going to do that to all of these. We'll do some items as well. Mix and match here. Some skills. Aha. What is this? Leather vest. Something happened here. What? Why did this happen? Whoa, that's weird. All right. Is this another bug? This is the thing that annoys me, is when you find a bug that sidetracks you. I was spelling feeble wrong this whole time. Damn it. I'll have to change it. All right. Why was that happening? I clicked this one, and I clicked this, and I clicked this, and now there's no bug. But if I click this and then this, there's a bug. All right. Well, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. All right. Can I ignore that for now? Because I don't want to fix that bug right now. So I think I can ignore it by just not equipping the leather armor, and I'll have to come back to that. So everyone's going to be a magic user, and they're going to load up on magic, because that's what I want to test, and so that's what I'm going to test. Yeah. All right, so magic, earth magic, body magic, mind magic, all the magics. Let's be a magic user. Fire magic, water magic, air magic, and be a cleric and do mind magic and body magic and spellmaster, which has nothing to equip. And then this one was going to be air magic, earth magic, water magic, and start our journey. Magic test. Start this game. See if it works. Update my logger to be topic-based so it can filter and toggle on and off logs about unrelated topics, making it easier to find these things. Is that similar to these buttons out here? Add more buttons up here. All right, let's see. Interesting. There's a couple buttons missing. Maybe I forgot to update a prefab or something. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of red. That's all fine. Okay. All right, so we got our books. As this suspected earlier, they are completely the wrong size. So we need to fix that. And that's okay though. That's okay because they exist, and that's important. So let's see. How do I fix that? Inventory panel. Inventory area. Not the area. Inventory objects. There we go. So, really I need to move this one back. And just straight back a little bit and then scale it. I'm going to try to just copy that and then paste it into the prefab later. position. That's probably the right position. I can make it a little bit bigger. Down just a little bit. Maybe it's a little off. I don't know. Hard to tell. I didn't put the top left there. Top left, actually. Yeah. How come it's not showing? I don't know why it's not showing. All right, so. Yeah, okay, that's about right. Good enough for movies. Copy component there. So I'm going to stop this. And now that this data has been saved, we should be able to just go back to that scene and we'll save. Okay, hold on. I'll do that in 1 second, Jason. Let me just remember what I was about to do. And then I will do that. Magic books. Magic book inventory. Okay. Now that I did that. Okay, so click the three-dot menu at the top right of the console window and go to log entry and click one line. Okay. Log entry, one line. I see what you mean, Santu. So if I have 2 lines, I never knew this. I never clicked that button in my life. Yeah, the second line is generally not used. So yeah, actually that's nice. I never actually clicked that before. There's a lot of things in Unity I try not to click because I don't want to mess things up. All right, now if we press play, those magic books should be the right size. But there's only one. Why is there only one? I see 3 here. Let's go. I want to select that. Okay. So there are 3 books, and somehow they're all in the same spot. That's not right. They're not supposed to be the same spot. I mean, they're the right scale, so that's nice. But they're clearly, it's an inventory system bug. I'm not sure why I've got to deal with that. So one of them works. You can drag around. That's great. You can't equip a book. You can pass a book. And this one also has the same bug. So they all have the same bug. Chances are, somehow 2 of them aren't listed properly in the inventory. All right, so this is not that. It's not relating to this. Look at that, so much more compact now. We have to get used to that. All right, let's look at our character and player 1. Okay, so we got the learn skills, we got the learn spells. We actually haven't learned the spells yet. I need to remove that from, now that that was a waste of time. See, 10x developer would have known we're not learning the spells yet, we're only giving the book. We don't learn the spell until we use the book on the character by right-clicking them, or trying to equip it probably, and then they learn it. So, I need to remove that. Mental note, do that later. Alright, so we got our inventory. We have 3 items, as we expect. Dictionary key values. Inventory spot. X and Y are 0, 0. And on this one, inventory spot is probably going to be 0, 0 as well. It's not supposed to all be 0, 0, as one might imagine. They're not all supposed to be in the same spot. Our spots. So these are just, this is the grid basically of that inventory, and every one has a little spot, and it says, okay, this is the item. Magic Book of Feeble Mind is here. Magic Book of Feeble Mind is there. There should be something here, but there isn't. And that is why. That's what's going on. It looks like there should be something there, but there's not. Inventory data. I think this is. Those are both supposed to be clicked used, I think, but, or maybe that's something else. So that's the issue right there, and that's in the save data, so I can't change that. So I need to fix the bug from the source, which means going back to the character creation scene. Scenes. And figuring out where it's going wrong there. Yeah, I see it, Santu. I see the value for sure. Yeah, maybe on the books, and probably not on. I mean, it's possible. That's maybe. I've been working on a book package that has books that could be opened, but the use case was more intended for like a menu screen where you flip the pages of the book rather than the inventory item book. But I like the idea of books that can, you know, be manipulated in a game and feel right and look good and whatnot. All right, so oh, I didn't press play. All right, so what we're going to look for here is the game. We're going to look to see if the inventory gets filled properly. So Earth Magic, we get it's done, and 0, 0, and then Water Magic. Yeah, it says it can fit at 0, 2. Did it fit at 0, 2? Let's see. 0, 2 did not. Inventory, wait, spot Y, spot X. It did. So technically it's in the right spot there. Body Magic. This one should be 0, 3. 0, or not 0, 4. Okay, so those are correct. And make sure the spots, it's the element 4. Okay, so those are showing correct. I think I can just click this and type in random stuff. And now we've got them all in the right spot here. And we saw this before, all of these in the right spot. So they're showing up, but somehow they didn't save in the right spot. And that's what's troubling to me. So let's try once again. We'll bring up this test scene and see if the same issue happens. Where's my scenes? Ours are in my scenes. Huh. All right. Ha ha ha. Well. Well, that's another bug for me to solve. Not sure why it's doing that. I don't want to solve this bug either. Not right now, at least. I want to do it later, but I also want this character to equip this book. Magic Book of Healing Touch. I want to right-click on this and have them learn it. All right. We go back to fix that learn bug because we can't have them learning something when they are not supposed to learn it yet. Learned spells. Did I not? It's not here. Do. All right. I'm silent because I'm suddenly thinking, where the heck did I put the learned spell part? I swear it was in this script, but was it not? Starting item. Add starting item. Let's go back one step. Learn spell. Spell name. Game. Oh, it's on skill panel. Alright, so we're not actually learning the spell. So we're not actually doing this, and I'm going to write myself a note. Note. We don't learn this spell until we equip the book, etc. Alright, so that part is removed. I'll just keep that there for prosperity's sake. I do wonder if the same bug is going to happen if I try to equip a second weapon. So I'm going to start this again. We're going to try that. So the way this works is if I try to equip a weapon and I already have one equipped, the one I already have equipped will go to my inventory. So if I equip a spear, great, got a spear. Then I equip a staff. The staff goes to the inventory. So this, that happens. Staff happens. Spear happens. Oh, whoa. Okay. Maybe there is another issue because Iron Spear can fit into this inventory. The Iron Spear should not be in the inventory. The staff should be in the inventory. Where's my... So there it is. Game. So let's see what's actually happening. Their inventory has a staff in it. Okay. Well, that's right. Not sure why it was looking to see if the spear can fit. The staff is at 0, 0, most likely. 0, 0. And then 0, 0 should say it has a staff in it. Is that the case? It is. Okay. And then if I click a spell book, it should have a bug. Okay, well, there's a bug. Gosh darn it. Can I solve that bug later? I want to solve that bug later. I know I've said that before, but I really... What's the error on line 383? Was it of this script? Nope, it wasn't of this script. It was probably this one then. 383. It's the remove starting item. Yeah, I think this is where the bug happens. Because before I did the magic book, every item that you get would be something you would equip. And so it was just every single item could be equipped. The magic books don't get equipped. And the script is set up for assuming everything gets equipped and also gets unequipped. And that, I think, is what's going on here, essentially. So that's probably where this bug lives, is remove starting item. But I want to do the thing I came here to do. I came with a purpose, and I want to do that thing. I want to learn the spell by dragging this over here. So this is a magic book of Healing Touch, and if we go to my player and I see, they probably have learned spells, huh? Yeah. So we'll say 0. We have no learned spells. So now when I right click here, I want to learn the spell. Also probably if I click over here, but let's start with the right click here. All right, so good. We got an issue. Use held item on player. Game. This is old. This is old code here, I think. It's not completely old code. It's somewhat old code. I never put this into the namespace, which tells me that it's old code. Because it should be in this namespace. And my worry is that if I put it in the namespace now, I'm going to have more errors to fix. Why is this a null reference, though? Object reference. Use held item on player. Is it player or game that's missing? All right. So I mean, if I go left click on the players, they should select just fine, right? What's going on? Oh, I pause. That's what's going on. It was paused. So yeah, left click works perfectly fine. And left click to pass this works perfectly fine. We're on actions though. Okay, so that works perfectly fine. So it's probably this. That's the game.game is what's going on probably. So in my actions, do I have? I got select player, select. This is a in progress script that probably needs to be refactored big time. Big time. I didn't do anything here, so okay. Well, what I'm going to do is we'll try this. Actions.use item on use held item on player. All right. Okay. I'm just going to throw this in here. Interact, shoot, defend, shoot. Yeah, these are all Old. Okay. Selecting the player with the right click means you are using the held item on the player. And learn is learn. This is going to need to be updated too. I'm just going to bring in. All right, let's go through it and figure out. Use the held item on the player. We don't need that. Player equals the active player. So game dot active player. Game dot active player. And get rid of that. Okay, inventory logic. I think that is accurate. Actually, it might not be. It might not be at all. Let's see. Give held. Item on screen. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. This is going to be a learning experience for me to relearn what I was doing before. So on-screen item is held, return false. Otherwise, give the held object to the new player if they can. Otherwise, return false. That's what's essentially happening here. This says this will give the held object. It returns false if it can't. And so, yep. So we can copy this and go to my other thing. All right. If there's no item, then we'll just return. And then so we need to figure out if the held object is something we can learn or use, because it could be a potion. So let's get that information. So item, let's see, on-screen item is going to have an item somewhere. Item held, yeah. All right. So we're going to start with just magic books. That's all we care about right now. So if on-screen item held dot type equals magic book, then try to learn spell, and we're going to say so new player and on screen item held, and this is going to be returned. So if it if it can be returned, if it can be learned, then we're going to do something. Probably remove the on-screen item. Okay. So this is going to be removed, but that's fine. We'll leave it there for now. And this is just going to comment all this out. All right. So try to learn spell. Okay, try to learn spell. New player, item held. So the new player is going to try to learn that spell. Fair enough. Okay, so we need to get from the item from the item, which is up here in items. So magic spell, the item's going to have the suffix, and the suffix is what's going to have the suffix is what's going to have the spell. All right. So spell name equals item held dot get suffix. Nope. Dot suffix. Yes. Game dot RPG data dot items. Nope. Game dot items dot get suffix by item held dot suffix name. Or we already have that stuff. So item held dot suffix dot dictionary dot get value string, the spell. So that's the spell name. What's going on? Okay, that's confusing. Turn false if we can't do anything. All right, so we have the spell name. So two things. Do we already know the spell? And then can we learn the spell? So let's find out if we already know the spell. So player equals game.players.data.player new player. New player. And I wonder if I wrote this. If player.knows or has learned. We've done has learned skill, but not has learned spell. Hey, where'd it go? Has learned skill. Has learned spell. So if we've already learned the spell, return false. And really, I mean, debug.log to do add in some UX for saying you already know this spell or some junk like that. Because it's not going to be enough to say I can't learn it. The player's going to need to know why they can't. Either they already know it, or I can't learn that one. All right. So now I need to look up the spell itself, and that's going to be an item. So item spell equals game.spells.get item by the name of the spell, which is spell name. Get item. Okay, so get item, and I need to know if I can learn the spell. And how do I know if I can learn the spell? It means I have. Oh wait a minute. Okay, I've learned spell first of all. Yes, I need to know the skill required to learn this spell. And I don't know if I've added that to my spells. Let's see. I have not added it. So I need to add that. So I'll go to my dictionaries, add a new one, skill, just maybe we'll make it skill required. Required, it's going to be a string. Okay, so I'll have to enter these. We're dealing with healing touch, so we'll just do it for these four. And this is going to be body magic, if I can spell it right. Okay. What I don't like is that if I close one of these, the selection kind of bugs out a little bit. All right, so now if I have those, so spell, and I'm going to say string skill required equals spell dot dictionary dot get value string skill required, and so if player has learned skill required, then debug. Okay, let's copy this. Saying you can't learn this, buddy. Return false. All right, so we're going to return false if we already know the spell. We're going to return false if we can't learn the spell. Otherwise, we're going to return true because we're going to give this to the player. And I have that learned spells right here. I probably didn't really need to copy and paste this, but yeah, player dot learn spells, add spell name. Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. And then try to learn spell. If we are able to learn spell, then we're going to remove the on-screen item. And I think that just means on-screen item dot destroy drop, not drop. I have this somewhere. Use held item on player. If we pass it to another player, we do the same thing. Give held object to player. On-screen item. Give held object. And give held object. And remove item. I think this is, yeah, just remove item will suffice. Where'd it go? Where'd my code go? Try to learn spell. It's up here. There it is. On-screen item. So on-screen item dot remove item. That should be it. That should be all I need to do. And this whole junk. Oh, no, I need that one. So this whole junk, this old bit of code should be. So this should be good. We can clean it up in a bit. Does it work? Let's see if it works. Let's see. So I got a couple bugs to fix, but this was the goal. Well, this is actually part of the goal because the second part was once I have it, be able to cast it, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get through all that. But let's see what happens here. All right, we have the inventory, we have our bug where only this one's showing. And it is of healing touch. Can we learn healing touch? So before I do that, let me select my character so we can see what we're trying to see. Oh yeah, I have to also set that to 0. All right, learn spells is 0. Null reference. All right, well, it's better than nothing, I guess. Skill required. Okay, let's see. Debug.log. Spell is spell name. We'll do that and spell dot full name. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Control P is play and stop. Nobody told me that. I feel like if I hover over this, it might have a tooltip. Did it work? It didn't work. Maybe it's Command P on my Mac. It's Command P on the Mac. You can tell how old a Mac user is by if they say Apple key Mac or Apple key P. Apple X, Apple C. I learned something new. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh. All right, well, that part went. Oh, because I didn't get to the part where I had the bug before because I didn't remove my thing. So that part's cool. That works. If we remove these and say that I don't know the spells, now we're going to get into the bug. Okay, good. That's helpful. Use, okay. All right, so we're not even getting the spell. Okay. Debug.log get spell name. So we're not even getting the spell. And so let's just double check a few things. Spells is listed here. Pause. Okay. Spells is listed just fine. Spells. Ah, that's why, because we have these masteries after them. That's why. So what I can do is just say spell. Spell. Okay, spell name plus novice. Because I'm really just trying to get that one bit of data from these, because these are the actual spells, but it's the type. It doesn't really matter at this point which one I pull from. So I'll pull from novice, and that'll give me skill required, and we need to make sure we can do that. Okay, I think that'll work. I pushed the button again, but luckily it won't take my mouse input until this rainbow wheel of doom and death and destruction stops. Did I misspell spell? Oh my gosh. You know, I once was very excited with Infinity PBR to go to GDC or Unite with new business cards that talked about the assets store, and I totally misspelled the word assets, and it was attests or something like that, and I didn't notice it until about a year ago when someone saw my old cards that I didn't use for years and pointed out my mistake. So, that's embarrassing. I pushed the button again. Actions line 724. Man, I'm going to be embarrassed when I look at that line. Okay. Oh, I already know the spell. Okay, good. And if actually, let's test someone who can't learn the spell. You can't learn this, buddy. Good. And can my first player learn it once she no longer knows spells? She can. She learned it. Perfect. And it disappeared from her inventory. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. There would be some feedback. She'd probably nod her head, maybe a little particle thing. Sound effect for sure. So you made business cards without your email? Did you write it in by hand? Or did you, how'd that work out in the end? All right, so that worked. Oh yeah, I was going to check my misspelled line. 724, spell, spells, spell name, novice. Oh, are you just saying that if the name, spell name was correct? Yeah, okay. Oh, here you mean spell. That's because I typed fast and I don't care when it's the debug logs. Yeah. 800 business cards with no contact info. That's funny. That's funny. I guess if you don't put your contact info on, then anyone who does contact you saying, I got your card, either they are a stalker or they really want to work with you because they found you anyways. So there's that. So technically I did accomplish half of what I wanted to accomplish today. The next step would be to actually cast something. But that would require updating my magic menu, which, as we saw at the very beginning of the stream, has bugs. And let's just see again. I'm just curious now. And I do have other bugs to fix. The whole equipping bug from before and making sure that the spells aren't learned. And then the inventory bug, that's the big one too. So yeah, this whatever's going on here has to be changed. This is where I'd really love to have a book model that opens, and when you click one of these, the pages fizzle through and whatnot. But that's going to be somewhere else. So I'm going to sign off in a minute then, because it's a nice day out. I believe it's a hot day. And if I look at my weather app, the air quality is actually good today. It's been smoky here in California. And the last couple days, especially 2 days ago, was a day you don't want to go outside. Today the air quality is good. It still says smoky, but the air quality is good. The weather is a balmy 84 degrees Fahrenheit, which is something in Celsius. 40% humidity. It's going to be sticky outside, but I'm going to go for a bike ride. But first I'm going to hear about this girl. A girl once gave me her phone number. She left out the last one to be flirty. It was 0. It was 1 then. Did she text back? Thank you guys for watching, and participating. It's been fun. If you have not subscribed to Infinity PBR, please do. It helps out a lot. And I've been noticing my subscriber number has been going up and down for the past little bit. But definitely check out the asset store. If you go to infinitypbr.com, that's like the home base for all the links to all the things. We have a lot of cool videos on our website. We've got our YouTube channel. We've got this if I want to go crazy. But yeah, definitely check out our videos. We got a lot of videos, a lot of tutorials, a lot of cool things. Latest update to the fantasy environment video shows our facades, which is really nice and has real IV2 built into it. So that's fun too if you like that asset. That was just me saying it up. We're getting more facades soon. Yes, I have a Discord. Did I not reply? Yeah, I've got a Discord. So there you go. Come check it out. Thank you for participating. I will do this from time to time. I hope it's fun to just shoot the breeze and hopefully learn something. I learned that I should be hitting Command P to press play and stop, and I also learned that I can change the number of lines in the log entry with this, which is brand new for me. And I learned that I have more bugs to fix. There is no link to the code I'm writing. So I'm using the modules. So these items and stuff is if we go to the asset store, they're going to be the game modules. It looks like they're buried right now. Where are they? There they are. Modules. The character creation one's a part of it. But these modules are all here. So that code is available. The inventory, what I'm doing is all part of this and this package, and then there's the scripting docs up here that I've been working on. Mostly they're here, and there are videos and examples and information. But the rest of the code is not there. I would imagine one day I might release the whole thing just as like if this game gets finished and all that, I might just say, hey, here's all the code from this game for $2,000 or something ridiculously high, so that only people who know what they're doing would buy it, because I wouldn't support it necessarily. I mean, I'd answer questions if I could, but the whole point would be like, hey, you can get all the code that I built and wrote without all the assets that from other asset publishers and stuff. And if somebody wants to just kind of dig in and modify it or make use of it for their own project or something. But yeah. A 6. Wow. Okay, well I'm glad it wasn't none of them, Jason. But all right. Have a good day, everybody. Good night, everybody. And have see you next time.